I received a phone call from Lucinda Nord from IAEW within a few days after the tornado, saying that eventually they're going to need help with long-term recovery, and would I be interested in coming down there and helping them set up long-term recovery and do case management. Because I had just finished a disaster up north for 3 years doing the same thing. The first time I came up here was probably 3 weeks after the tornado, and the devastation was just, wow. I had worked floods before, so I hadn't seen tornadoes. And it was just amazing how much devastation there was. And kind of met a lot of people, and then went back home and waited for the call when long-term recovery was going to start. And it was just really a process to try and figure out how to, who the people were that were going to be involved in long-term recovery, getting policies and procedures written, and start meeting with FEMA officials and potential clients who were the survivors, and just start gathering the database of who were we going to help as March to Recover.
And how many case managers did you end up having?
I had 3 paid staff, and I had about 3 or 4 volunteer case managers from Catholic Charities.
What have the volunteers meant to this entire endeavor?
Everything. You couldn't do it without volunteers. You can't do recovery without volunteers. They just, people want to help. I mean, when something happens, people want to jump in and do something to help their fellow brother or sister. So everybody could bring a different skill set. Whether it's a listening ear or swinging a hammer or making a meal, anything they could do is helpful.
Tell me some things about where the volunteers came from, how many there have been.
That's not really my,
You don't really know like that? Okay. Thinking about this whole crisis, think about maybe the story that has touched you more than anything that you've encountered when you've seen transformation, you've seen someone in a very bad situation.
Yeah, I think for me there's been a couple people that have really meant a lot to me. It's how devastated their lives have become physically. From amputees, be able-bodied 1 minute and the next minute lose your limbs, you're disabled. Meet them at their hopeless stage of, I don't know where I'm going to live, I don't know what I'm going to do. And this particular person be institutionalized. She thought she was going to be, because she didn't know where she was going to go, what she was going to do. And see that person at the pit of despair to, just this weekend put her into a new home. And it's see her grow emotionally, spiritually, mentally, meet the physical needs. I mean, it's all encompassing. I mean, to me, that's just so rewarding. And just, there's a couple people I'll never forget because of that.
You've probably made friendships here that you'll always have?
Yes, it's going to be hard to go because I'm not from here, so it will be hard to say goodbye.
Well, say some things about, say, I've made friendships here that
I've made friends here with not only people that were staff, but clients and some of the volunteers that have come in, and you hope that they'll become lifelong friends, even after I move away. Just stay in touch. You've shared some pretty emotional journey with a lot of people when you do recovery work, and you see some people in the most vulnerable state, and then you see them come out at the other end, and it's a journey that it touches you in so many ways. It touches lives, so you have that in common. You have something to share, and it really means a lot.
How do you think the community has changed as a whole, the whole Southern Indiana community going through this crisis?
in some ways it seems like they've gotten closer together. It's, people, I mean, I've heard people say, well, I didn't know who really my neighbors were, and now I know, because you all share that common bond now. You've all been through this, and so it draws them closer together, and they see that they can make it through. If they can make it through this, they can make it through anything. It's that I can attitude, and that pride. I see that sign at the high school, our Hornet Pride at Henryville. That's, people are proud that, we made it through this, and we're going to rebuild, and our neighbors, we're all back together again.
How has this changed you as a person?
I guess I've grown. I just, this disaster was a little bit different from the other one that I worked at, so you just learn different skill sets and different way of life. Down here, it's a little bit different in southern Indiana than northern Indiana. People are different. It's, I'm from a more urban setting to a more rural setting, and really enjoyed more of the slower lifestyle, I guess, in a way, and it's been kind of nice. It's made me treasure my own time when I go back home with my family, because I haven't seen them a whole lot during this whole, year and a half. So when I go home, it's more quality time with family and with friends. I think that's what's probably touched me the most, is just the time that I do get to spend with family and friends. It means more to me.
When people look back on this like 50 years from now, what would you want them to remember about what happened, how you all got through it, and what people should remember on into the future?
I think that no matter what happens, you can make it through, and that there are a lot of people in this world that really care, and they want to show that care and that love to each other in any way they can. And you were not only the receiver of that, but I see now that people want to kind of pay it forward and give back. You received a blessing. I mean, there was a lot of blessings that came out of tragedy. Pay those blessings forward too.